Everything you thought you knew about the world is about to change. The animals you loved, the pets you trusted, they are becoming smarter than us. And one infection is rewriting the rules of survival. It began quietly. No one noticed the subtle changes at first. Birds began using tools to reach food. Dogs opened doors and solved puzzles humans thought were impossible. And monkeys began exhibiting strategic thinking that seemed almost human. Dr. Nathaniel Carter, a respected virologist in New York, was the first to notice the anomaly. Reports flooded in from all over the world, animals showing intelligence beyond their species, acting in ways that were previously considered impossible. A mysterious infection had emerged, a viral mutation that somehow increased cognitive functions in mammals and birds. Nathaniel spent days analyzing samples in his lab, sleepless nights passing in the eerie silence of his laboratory. "This is unprecedented," he muttered to himself as he watched a simple experiment. A dog opening a puzzle box within seconds, a task that even some humans would struggle with. If this spreads, his voice trailed off. Meanwhile, across the city, ordinary people began noticing strange behavior. Dogs in apartments started guarding their homes like trained soldiers. Crows worked together to steal food in patterns that resembled human tactics. Even neighborhood cats began organizing themselves, avoiding traps that once would have been trivial to catch them. At first, the media called it cute and funny, sharing videos online. But soon, it became terrifying. Reports of animals defending themselves from humans, stealing supplies, and even coordinating attacks on unsuspecting intruders began surfacing. Panic silently crept in. Among the chaos, a young journalist, Emma Reynolds, began documenting these events. She visited neighborhoods where animals had started to dominate. She met a young boy, Liam, whose dog, Max, had saved him from a burglary using intelligence far beyond any pet. Liam's words haunted her. "Max, he knows things we don't." In the midst of this, Nathaniel discovered something more alarming. The virus was not only enhancing intelligence, it was teaching animals empathy, strategy, and cooperation. This was evolution accelerated, guided by an infection that no one understood. And humans were at risk too. The virus had a faint but noticeable effect on people. Subtle changes in cognition, slight aggression, and a growing disconnect from instinctive human behavior. Global governments convened emergency meetings. Scientists worked around the clock, trying to find a cure, but nature was already adapting faster than human intervention could manage. Cities that once thrived on human dominance were slowly being overtaken. Wildlife that had once been passive now moved with purpose, planning, and an almost unsettling wisdom. Emma and Nathaniel crossed paths while investigating a case of a smart pack of wolves that had isolated a small town. The animals weren't hunting blindly. They had strategies, divisions of labor, and even warning systems. Emma documented everything, knowing the world needed to see the truth. "We created this world, Nathaniel," she said quietly, as they watched a wolf lead a group of deer away from human hunters. "And now, we're no longer at the top." Nathaniel nodded solemnly. "We always thought intelligence was our gift, but maybe it's not just about us anymore." The infection spread silently, invisibly, and with precision. As the sun set over New York, Emma recorded her final note for the day. "Something has changed forever. The world we knew, it's gone. And the question is, can humanity adapt, or will we be left behind?" The days following the first signs of intelligent animal behavior were chaotic. Humans scrambled to respond, but it was clear that they were no longer the dominant force in their own cities. Wild animals roamed freely, collaborating with uncanny precision. Yet amid the panic, a spark of hope remained. Dr. Nathaniel Carter and journalist Emma Reynolds had formed a small team of dedicated scientists, journalists, and volunteers. They called themselves the Observers. Their mission was twofold: understand the infection, and find a way for humans and animals to coexist before humanity's place on Earth was permanently diminished. One morning, Nathaniel observed a remarkable scene through his lab's large windows. A group of monkeys had organized themselves around a food supply. They weren't fighting. Instead, they were sharing, communicating, and even seemingly teaching the younger monkeys how to obtain food safely without destroying the environment around them. Nathaniel's heart raced. "This isn't just intelligence," he muttered. "This is consciousness, an understanding of responsibility." Emma recorded the event, her voice trembling with awe. "Look at them, Nathaniel. They're learning, teaching, working together. Are we ready for a world where we're no longer the smartest species?" The infection had reached a tipping point. While many humans reacted with fear, a few began to realize that resistance was futile. Instead, they could learn from the animals, adapt, and form alliances. Liam, now a young teen, had grown close to Max. Together, they had created a small sanctuary where humans and animals coexisted peacefully. Max, once a simple family pet, now displayed near-human intelligence. He could understand complex commands, solve puzzles, and even sense danger before humans noticed it. As weeks passed, news reports showed similar scenes globally. Dolphins guiding lost swimmers to safety, birds warning villages of natural disasters, wolves leading herds to safe pastures. The infection had reshaped the planet, not as a weapon, but as a teacher. Humans began to see the error of their arrogance. Intelligence was never meant to dominate, but to coexist. Nathaniel and his team discovered that the virus had a unique trait. It amplified empathy along with intelligence. Animals weren't becoming malicious, they were becoming aware. They were learning not just to survive, but to live in balance. Humanity's challenge was not to control them, but to understand them. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Nathaniel and Emma sat atop a hill overlooking the city. The streets were quiet but alive with movement. Dogs patrolled neighborhoods, ensuring safety. Birds worked together to clean debris and recycle resources. Even urban wildlife seemed to have an unspoken code of conduct. Emma whispered, "Do you think humans can really change? Can we finally learn to live with them instead of against them?" Nathaniel smiled faintly, his gaze fixed on a lone wolf in the distance. "We don't have a choice anymore. Adaptation is survival. And perhaps, for the first time, humanity will learn humility." The final weeks were a blend of tension and hope. Humans had begun communicating with the animals in new ways, observing patterns and learning strategies. Max, Liam, and other intelligent pets acted as intermediaries, bridging the gap between species. It was no longer about dominance, but partnership. A pivotal moment came when Emma recorded a meeting between humans and a group of highly intelligent wolves. The wolves didn't speak in words, but through actions, gestures, and carefully organized movements. It was clear they recognized humans as potential allies, not enemies. Nathaniel wrote in his journal, "This is evolution in motion, not just survival of the fittest, but survival through cooperation." The infection didn't make animals smarter than us to destroy us. It forced us to see the world through their eyes. And in doing so, perhaps, we'll become better humans. Months later, the world had shifted. Cities had become integrated ecosystems where humans and animals coexisted. Agricultural practices were reimagined with animal input. Wildlife conservation reached unprecedented levels. Animals were teachers, guides, and partners. Humanity had learned lessons it never could have learned alone. Liam, now a teenager, watched Max chase after a group of birds, teaching fledglings to fly. He smiled. "I used to think being human meant being the smartest," he said. "But maybe being human means learning how to care for everyone." Emma, preparing her final report, concluded, The infection that once terrified humanity became its greatest teacher. Intelligence is not about power. It's about understanding, empathy, and coexistence. When animals became smarter than humans, we faced our greatest fear and found our greatest purpose. The story ends on a hopeful note, humans and animals thriving together, a world transformed not by dominance or destruction, but by the power of learning, compassion, and adaptation. A new era had begun, a world where intelligence was shared, not hoarded, and where every species had a voice in the story of life.